What it do? Bedtime crew. Hey man, listen, today I'm here to give you guys my full card predictions for UFC 317. We've got a great international fight week card here. Obviously, main event, Ilia versus Charles Olivera, Pentosia versus Kai France, Royval versus Van. I'm very excited for that. I can't even pronounce this guy's fucking name right. I'm so excited for this card. We got Beneil Dariush coming back versus Moano. Payton Talbot's on the main card. Jack Manson versus Robocop. I feel like I'm forgetting somebody obvious. Janata Denise is here. I remember he's on the card. Jacoby Smith, I'm going to be glazing him. And the rest are nobodies. Hey, man, let's get into this, dude. Early prelims, first fight of the night. Speaking of nobodies, we got fucking 2 brown shirts. 255 overalls with no badges, no pictures, no nothing on Google. These guys literally do not even exist on Google, bro. Google had to generate them for this, and these guys are fighting on a UFC pay-per-view. We've got Chris Uitt versus Jackson McVey. I'm going to be picking Jackson McVey by submission. I think that he would have lost to Cedricus Dumas if bro could have fucking left his house. Cedricus Dumas is literally living GTA 5, and this guy's still in the UFC somehow. So I think we need to cut Dumas. But I think he would have beat Jackson McVey because Jackson McVey, I watched a bit of tape on this guy. He has good submissions when you shoot takedowns against him. He's a pretty fast starter, okay? He hasn't really been outside of the first round in his pro career, but all of his fights that I saw, he's pretty sharp on the feet early on. He has decent power in his kicks and his punches, and he has a pretty nasty submission game if you shoot a takedown early on. I was considering picking Chris Uitt, then I watched this guy fight. He's even goofier. He's even more of a regional 55 overall. Chris Uitt reminds me of a young Jesse the Blob Medina for any of my real Bedtime and May fans. So I'm going to say Uitt jiggles around at range a little bit, gets pieced up, and then ends up getting submitted in the first round or second round. I'm going to say Jackson McVey wins this fight by submission. Next fight, another fucking brown shirt. $80, man. $80 people are playing for this, bruh. Oh my god. We got Janata Denise versus Alvin Hines. I looked up Alvin Hines on Tapology. His fight name is Goonsy. So shout out to Goonsy Hines. I'm not going to be picking you though, brother. This guy's such a fucking jobber, dude. You couldn't get more of a jobber if you tried, bro. Who names their kid fucking Alvin, dude? The fuck, man? I'm gonna pick Janata Denise by KO. I think he's gonna destroy this blob that's literally just bald, no eyebrows, no badges, no nothing. Janata Denise is gonna win by knockout. Now let's get to something I really want to talk about. Jacoby fucking Smith. This guy's not even Australian. He's gonna get a full-blown Aussie casual glaze session. Mate, Jacoby Smith is gonna fucking dominate Nico Price, bro. I'm picking Jacoby Smith by round 1 KO, dude. I think Jacoby Smith is the real fucking deal at welterweight. This guy is a nasty fucking wrestler. His last fight in the UFC, he got a pretty gnarly KO as well. He has great power in the hands, great technique all around. I think Jacoby Smith, we're going to see him tested at some point, but I don't really feel like Nico Price is the guy that's going to test him and figure out what Jacoby Smith is really made of. I feel like Jacoby Smith could take down and ragdoll Nico Price, but there is a bit of a jiu-jitsu threat. Nico Price kind of fluky off his back. We saw him knock out Randy Brown with some shots off his back. Pause. I think Jacoby Smith on the feet is just going to exploit the fact that Nico Price literally moves around in 0.25 speed. I know he got mad when I said that in a video. Somebody told me they know Nico Price, and he was mad that apparently I said in a video he fights like a Make-A-Wish guy. I didn't mean that. Okay, but Jacoby Smith will be KOing him in the first round. I think Jacoby Smith's going to put a fucking left hook on his chin, drop him bad, and it's going to be over within the first round. I think Jacoby Smith will be getting a major ESPN IG Reels highlight reel in this fight. My picks for the early prelims, Jacoby Smith by KO, Janata Denise by TKO, Jackson McVey by submission. Next fight of the night, I'm very, very excited about this. We've got Terrence McKini versus Vyacheslav Borchev. This is a fucking sick fight, dude. I actually feel like this could be a really entertaining scrap if it goes long enough. But the thing with Terrence McKini is he is the ultimate glass cannon. Like, he's either winning in round 1 by knockout or he's getting highlight reeled. And I'm going to be picking Borchev to win this fight. I know that his record is a little bit sus, but if you know Vyacheslav Borchev and you know Terrence McKini, you know that Slava Claus is really good at having a scrappy first round, maybe getting rocked or jumping, something like that, but then coming back and finding a shot. And I feel like early on in this fight, I could see McKini mixing in takedowns. I could also see him just rocking Vyacheslav Borchev, kind of dropping him, but I think he's just a little bit too wild, and I think his defense, you look at the highlight reel KOs people are putting on this guy, fucking Esteban Ribovic, Sean Woodson, fucking Ishmael Bonfim, Nazim Sadikov submitted him, Drew Dober, you know what I mean? Like, the list goes on, and I feel like I think Slavoclaus is the level of striker where he's going to be able to survive a tough first round, and then he's going to find good reads and really hurt Terrence McKini. And we know Terrence McKini slows down once he thinks he's got you finished and you survive. So I'm going to say the first round's going to be scrappy. Maybe McKini like mixes in some wrestling, or maybe he drops to Vyacheslav Borchev, ends up on top. And then I think in round 2, Slavoclaus is going to start pouring it on. He's going to start landing shots to the body. And I think he's going to back McKini up to the fence. He's going to exploit his pretty sloppy defense, in my opinion. I think he's going to either Terrence McKini leans into a head kick and gets dropped out bad, or Slavoclaus like makes him miss an overhand and blasts him with a fucking left hook and just chins him out cold. I'm going to say Borchev wins by knockout early round 2, maybe late round 1. Depends how McKini shows up. But yeah, I will be picking Slavoclaus. I feel like he's a, tight enough striker. He's pretty solid. He does have a pretty sus wrestling defense. Like, I know that he got completely fucking controlled and dominated by Chase Hooper, but Chase Hooper's literally Charles Oliveira 2.0, dude. And I think Terrence McKini will chase some sort of grappling in this matchup early on, but if you could survive 15 minutes with Tom Nolan trying to fucking finish you, I think you can survive Terrence McKini for 5 minutes. And I think Slavoclaus, like I said, I think he's going to read the defense of McKini. That's the biggest thing that makes me worry for Terrence McKini. If he was like this crisp, clean strike, like if he was like an Edmund Shablazian where for one round, he's completely fucking goated, you cannot fuck with him, that would be one thing. But Terrence McKini, like, he's just goes right at you, and he's kind of fluky, and he just has crazy power, but he's not actually technically that sound, whereas Slavoclaus is tough, is hard to finish, and also I know that he builds as a fight goes on. He's going to start reading the defense of McKini, landing body shots, backing him up, and then, like I said, it's either going to be a head kick as McKini leans, or it's going to be a left hook on the chin, just putting him out bad. I'm going to say Borchev by KO. Now, next fight of the night, we got Viviane Araujo versus Tracy Cortez. Brother, I watched tape for every single fight on this card. I literally spent like 3 hours making my predictions for this card. I cannot be fucking asked to watch tape of Tracy Cortez and Viviane Araujo. I'm genuinely considering just flipping a coin, because I could see Araujo winning this somehow because she's more experienced. She's fought better competition. But Tracy Cortez, I mean, she beat Jasmine Jasudavicius. I think Tracy Cortez has a little bit of that baddie plot armor where she's probably going to win this by decision, like maybe a robbery 29-28 split decision. I'm just going to say fuck it and pick Tracy Cortez. I really don't care. Araujo, she's pretty old for the weight class. I feel like she's lost to every single like big name person that she's fought in the division. She beat Jennifer Maia, which is like a decent win. But I think Tracy Cortez is a little bit younger, more explosive than Jennifer Maia. And she has the baddie plot armor, like I said. So I'm going to pick Tracy Cortez. All right, man. Next fight of the night. I'm very excited for this one. I think this is going to be the best fight on the prelims. We've got Hydra Emil, the King Blockhead at featherweight, versus Jose Delgado. I'm going to pick Jose Delgado by knockout. I think that Hydra Emil is going to get in his face and start blitzing him and start, trying to pressure him a little bit. But I think Jose Delgado is just a little bit slicker. And I feel like he's going to have, with the reach advantage and the technical advantage, like I think he's just a straight up more clean, crisp boxer and striker. I think it's going to help him in the pocket because Hydra Emil is going to force him to brawl. Hydra Emil's just going to go out there, genuine blockhead marauder mentality, trying to cause some sort of car crash. And I think Jose Delgado is just going to put one on the chin, on the inside of the pocket and drop him bad. I mean, this guy trains with Marcus McGee and Sean O'Malley. He trains with the MMA lab. This guy's probably going back to the corner every round. Great round, bud. Great round, Jose. Hey, great round, bud. Make sure we're getting 9 hours of sleep, all right, bud? All right, bud. Here, take a THC gummy, dude. Here you go. Lock in, bro. We're going to be all right, bud. Did you do your ice bath? Yeah, beautiful round, man. Beautiful round. So I feel like he has just that technical advantage against Hydra Emil. And I feel like he's going to be able to dictate when the exchanges happen because Jose Delgado is a lot better at keeping a longer range. He does have a reach advantage. He's a little bit younger. He's a little bit quicker, and he's just a bit more technical. I think he's going to start out keeping the range with some big head kicks, with some body kicks. And I think he's going to kind of force Hydra Emil to rush things. I think Hydra Emil works best when you're kind of, oh my God, he's coming to get me. But if Jose Delgado kind of forces him into that and kind of makes him rush it and not think about it, I think he's going to be able to counter Hydra Emil really badly with a big shot. Just being a bit more accurate, a bit more calculated. I'm going to say he puts a hook on the chin as Hydra Emil is kind of coming at him with the blockhead hooks. And I think he's going to drop him, follow up. Maybe a slightly early stoppage, but I'm going to say Jose Delgado will put down Hydra Emil with a counter shot and get a TKO victory. I'm looking forward to this fight, though. Like, I feel like if this goes long enough, this could be a fight of the night candidate because both of these guys are so exciting to watch. But I just lean Jose Delgado based on, like, pure striking power. You know, Hydra Emil, he's blitzing these guys, getting kind of standing TKOs against them. Went to a split decision with William Gomez. Jose Delgado is knocking people the fuck out. So I'm going to say Jose Delgado just based on power, being a little bit cleaner in the boxing, which is where this fight's going to happen. I think he's going to slip some of these big marauder shots and put one on the chin and drop Hydra Emil and get the finish. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this fight though. All right, man. Main event of the prelims, we've got Crafty Jack Hermanson versus Gregory Rodriguez. Now, man, I don't know, dude. I don't know, bro. I don't want to... Oh, my God. I can't shake the fucking memory of RoboCop gassing out in 2 minutes flat against Jared Cannonier, dude. Oh, fuck. God fucking damn it, dude. Nah, I'm going to pick Jack Hermanson. I'm going to pick Jack Hermanson, bro. RoboCop is overrated, bro. I'm just going to say it. Dude, RoboCop is dangerous with his calf kicks. And he has good knees and elbows in close. And obviously, he has just power in the hands. If he lands a big meaty hook on the chin of Jack Hermanson, he's going to rock him. But I honestly think the biggest thing that helps RoboCop in a lot of his fights is his takedown threat. You know, you rewatch him against fucking Brad Tavares. He's kind of getting pieced up on the feet. Like, he has big bursts here and there, but he's kind of getting pieced up on the feet by Brad Tavares. And then he mixes in takedowns and grappling to kind of, you know, put the pace on him a little bit. I think Jack Hermanson is going to be able to neutralize the grappling threat of Gregory Rodriguez. He did a really good job defending takedowns against Joe Piper, who's like a big, scary middleweight. Kind of like similar to RoboCop, just a little bit more racist, I would say. More like a regular cop than a fucking RoboCop. But I think Jack Hermanson's takedown defense is good enough. I think his jiu-jitsu is enough of a threat that's going to help him kind of craft his way into keeping this on the feet. And I just feel like Jack Hermanson's going to do a little bit more output-wise. Like, I think Jack Hermanson's going to use his jab. I think he's gonna use his goofball boxing defense and just kind of outpoint RoboCop. And as the fight goes on, I think Hermanson's gonna be a little bit more active. I think he's gonna land good combos. I think he's gonna be able to kind of roll with the shots of RoboCop, who's not actually that accurate or that sharp in this striking. Like, he definitely has big bursts. Like I said, major pause. But when he backs you to the fence, he is dangerous. And I think he'll do well in moments against Hermanson. But I think Jack Hermanson is low-key slick on the feet. And I can't really remember that many fights where he gets rocked that badly on the feet. Obviously, he got dropped by fucking Marvin Vettori in his prime. But outside of that, like, not a lot of people on the feet are just rocking Jack Hermanson and finishing him or anything like that. And I feel like you can point to a lot of RoboCop fights and say, if he doesn't get the finish, he loses that fight. Right? It's 1-1 going into the third. He finishes Brad Tavares. He doesn't look that good in the fight. He pours it on randomly, gets the finish. There's definitely a possibility of that. But I'm going to say Jack Hermanson wins this by decision. More output, cleaner shots, like landing the jab and then making RoboCop miss. And honestly, I feel like a big factor in this fight will be the cardio of Rodriguez. He does slow down as the fight goes on. And I feel like the more he tries to wrestle and forces things, and Jack Hermanson either makes him defend chokes or just breaks away from the clinch, lands a big right hand, makes him miss, I think Jack Hermanson is going to build as the fight goes on. I'm going to say Jack Hermanson wins by a crafty 29-28 decision to end off the prelims. I know that's a risky pick, but it is what it is. These are my picks for the prelims. I've got Jack Hermanson by decision. I've got Jose Delgado by knockout. I've got Tracy Cortez, and I've got Borchev by KO. I also have Jacoby Smith by masterclass, Janata Denise by TKO, and I'm going to say Jackson McVey by submission. Let's move on to the main card. All right, man. First fight of the night, we've got Payton Talbot versus Felipe Lima. You guys know I'm a big believer in Payton Talbot, bro, but I'm just going to say it like it is. I think Felipe Lima just wins this one. Just, dude. I'm not picking Lima by dude, Lima by domination, bro. Dude, Lima's a freaking problem, man. I rewatched this fucking Miles Johns fight that everybody's talking about. It wasn't that impressive, dude. It wasn't that impressive. This guy's not fucking the next bantamweight champion, dude. He's just a bigger, more powerful version of Cameron Simon, in my opinion. That's honestly what I think. But I think that Payton Talbot is also kind of overrated. And the more that I've rewatched Payton Talbot, the more I feel like Felipe Lima is just going to be able to do enough to win this fight by decision. I'm going to pick Felipe Lima by 29-28 decision. I do think that Payton Talbot, because he's a big bantamweight as well, is going to be able to stand up to Lima a little bit better than these fucking midgets that he's been fighting. Like Miles Johns, complete fucking midget. Naimov, he is big, like he's wide and he's thick and he has a really hairy back for some reason. But he's like a shorter, stockier kind of dude. Like he's a little bit of a blockhead. Whereas Payton Talbot, he's long, he's lanky, he is big in the back. I think he's going to be able to keep distance a little bit better. I think he's going to be able to make Felipe Lima a little bit more uncomfortable on the feet. The biggest difference, though, is the grappling. Like, Felipe Lima has a big grappling advantage. He's super fast on the feet. I think him and Payton Talbot are going to be really scrappy on the feet, kind of trading in the pocket. I give the edge to Talbot standing up. Like, I can see him kind of, they both kind of exchange Felipe Lima, blah, 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 straight away. Payton Talbot lands a big right hand on the break, and they both kind of, smile at each other. But out in the open, I think Felipe Lima having the wrestling threat and the speed advantage, and honestly, just better head movement, just slightly better defense. Like, Payton Talbot does stand quite upright. He keeps his head kind of stuck where it is. I think that the wrestling threat is going to open up big right hands for Felipe Lima, and I think he's going to be able to seal the fight with, a clutch takedown late in the fight. I think that what's going to happen is it's going to be kind of 1-1 going into the third. Like, they're kind of scrapping on the feet. They're close rounds. Payton Talbot kind of rocks him at one point with a big right hand. Felipe Lima lands some good combos. Maybe gets a takedown. Talbot gets back up. I think in the third round, Payton Talbot against the Raoni Barcelos, I can't shake the image that this guy got taken down basically at will by fucking Raoni Barcelos, man. I know that he showed decent defense in bad spots. Like, he didn't give up his neck. He didn't do anything dumb. But he just stayed stuck on bottom. And I feel like if Felipe Lima, he is good enough to do this. If he can get on his back, he's going to keep him there for most of the round. So I'm going to say round 3, Felipe Lima steals this fight with a really clutch takedown out in the open. Gets on the back, controls Payton Talbot. Maybe Payton Talbot breaks away the last minute of the round, but it's not enough. And I think all in all, it's just going to be Felipe Lima tags him up a little bit in one of the rounds, using the wrestling threat, maybe gets a takedown. Payton Talbot has some good moments, scrapping on the feet, kind of laughing, pointing at him, emoting. But Felipe Lima gets some major control time late in the fight and wins by decision. I'm going to say Felipe Lima, 29-28 decision. All right, man? Next fight of the night, we've got Beneil Dariush versus Henato Moicano, man. This is a hard one for me, man. This is, people say I switched up on Bilal and shit. This one really fucking hurts, dude. I'm picking Henato Moicano, dude. I know I've let you down, man. I know I let you down, man. I know, bro. It's with a heavy heart that I have come to terms as a Beneil Dariush believer that he is washed. This guy literally, I'll put a screenshot on screen if I remember. This guy literally got colded out bad by fucking Arman Sarukian ground and pound, dude. I'm sorry, bro. You can't get left like this by Arman Sarukian. You can't. I'm sorry. You can't. Even though there's so many things that make me want to pick Beneil Dariush. He has great takedown defense. He has great scrambling abilities. Nobody in the UFC has taken this guy down and holding him down. I think on the feet, he's going to look gun shy. He's going to look slow. And I don't rate Moicano that highly, but he is kind of quick on the feet. He does have a nice jab. He has a nice 1-2. I think Beneil Dariush has no fucking head movement. And I think early on, he's going to look slow and stuck in the mud. And I think Moicano is going to be able to land clean, hard jabs. Great 1-2s down the middle. I think Beneil Dariush is going to get caught throwing a leg kick or a body kick. Either Moicano, God, imagine, I'm actually going to jump off a bridge if Moicano knocks him down on the feet. But either Moicano lands a right hand as Beneil Dariush goes for a body kick and kind of drops him and gets on top of him. Or he catches a body kick, he catches a leg kick, takes down Beneil Dariush. Dariush kind of scrambles, rolls for a leg. I think Moicano, if he lands a big enough ground and pound shot, he's going to be able to rock back Beneil Dariush and get a finish, dude. I'm going to pick Moicano via ground and pound TKO. I'm sorry. Rewatching the Benoit Saint-Denis fight, Benny goes out cold from the first punch. Like, I'm sorry, bro, but Beneil Dariush literally goes out cold from the first elbow. I'm sorry, that's just a fact at this point in his career. I think Beneil Dariush will get taken down somehow in a weird scramble. I think he's going to start off fast with a body kick, but I think at some point, Moicano's going to rock him with a jab, and then I think he's going to take him down, and Benny's going to try and do his little scramble, roll for a leg. Moicano lands a big ground and pound shot. You see Benny kind of get rocked. Moicano gets a ground and pound TKO, and people spam imagine picking Dariush. That's the last thing I'll say about this fight. I just feel like if I pick Beneil Dariush, I'll get a million comments being like, dude, imagine picking Beneil Dariush. You know what I mean? And I'm sorry, I'd rather be wrong picking Moicano, who's on a fucking win streak outside of the Makhachev fight, than picking fucking Beneil Dariush coming off 2 back-to-back coldings, you know? And again, the Armin one, like, bro, if I put that on the screen, bro, come on, dog. I'm sorry, man. I love Armin, but come on, bro. All right? Next fight of the night, we got Brandon Royval versus Joshua Van. You know what, dude? We will be beating Brandon Royval by decision. I don't give a fuck, bro. I'm picking Joshua Van. I'm riding with this motherfucker, bro. I don't care. I'm fucking with this guy. I'm picking him. I think this is going to be fight of the night, man. I'm very, very excited for this. I think it's going to be mainly a stand-up fight because Van has such great takedown defense and his cardio is great and he builds as the fight goes on. And I feel like Royval's biggest weakness is if you can take him down and control him, right? Like even the Tyra fight, he started to really build because Tyra was slowing down from shooting so many takedowns. But even in that fight, the reason one of the judges had it for Tyra was he was still able to take down Royval and get a lot of control time. Obviously, Pentosia took him down, won that fight via submission in the first one, and then decision just laying on him in the second one, right? I don't think that's going to be a factor in this fight. So I'm looking at a mainly stand-up fight, and I just feel like Joshua Van's a cleaner boxer than fucking Brandon Royval. I feel like he has better defense. I think his height is going to be a little bit of a factor because that means I think Royval is going to be spamming front kicks, head kicks. I think, but honestly, I think Van is going to be able to counter the fucking lazy jab and the kind of sloppy boxing of Brandon Royval because he's kind of like a mini Nate Diaz. Like he's not super technical. He just has insane cardio, insane chin, insane jiu-jitsu. Just pressures and pours it on you. But I don't really feel like that works against someone who does the exact same thing like Joshua Van, except I would say he has more power in the hands. He's a cleaner boxer. And I feel like he's going to be able to counter Royval with the big overhand, with body shots, land some big calf kicks on Royval as well. I feel like this fight is going to be a scrap though. Like I do think it's going to be very close, honestly. I can see... This is one vision I have that I feel is going to come true. Brandon Royval is going to rock Joshua Van with a spinning back fist. I can really feel that coming, dude. I feel like he's going to throw a big head kick. Joshua Van kind of slips it. He steps back in and Brandon Royval rocks him with a spinning back fist. But I also think Joshua Van's going to be able to drop Royval with an overhand right. I think that jab of Royval is going to get him in trouble. He's going to get countered with a big fucking right hand over the top, left hook, maybe a knee on the way down. Van is just so fucking fast and sharp and powerful. And I feel like Royval usually has a cardio advantage on his opponents, but I don't actually think he has that against Joshua Van in a 3-round fight. I think Royval, like Joshua Van has the style to match what Royval does, except he's a cleaner striker. He has great takedown defense. And he actually does major damage with the hands, and he can keep the output high, and he can go up in output as the fight goes on, right? The only thing that worries me with Joshua Van is if he tries to wrestle, because I feel like when you rewatch the Edgar Chairez fight, that's going to be similar to this one, except Royval's a little bit better. But I would say Van is improved as well, because it is on short notice, but he's not coming off a fucking knockout loss in this one. So I'm going to say that, if he wrestles, he will end up in some sort of submission threat. But if this plays out outstanding, Van is just a straight up better boxer than fucking Royval, dude. Like, Royval has more weapons. Like, he has the knee up the middle, the head kick. the lazy 1-2. But I feel like Van's going to be cleaner with the boxing defense. He's going to counter well. He's going to mix up shots to the body. I think he's going to be able to keep things standing. He's not going to gas up because he's not going to be chasing takedowns. I think he's going to be able to match the cardio of Royval, except he's going to be able to do more damage in a 3-round fight. I'm going to pick Joshua Van by decision. I know that's a close fight. I'm not going to be shocked if Royval wins, but I'm just going to say fuck it, dude. Just roll with the momentum. I'm going to say Joshua Van wins by 29-28 decision, dude. Please win, Joshua Van. I love you, bro. Please win, all right? Co-main event, we've got Alesandre Pentosia versus Kai Kara-France. I'm going to pick Pentosia by decision or by late rounds fucking submission, dude. I don't know, though. I'm just going to say Pentosia by decision. I'm going to say Kai Kara-France looks good in this fight. I think that, obviously, everyone knows this, but Kai Kara-France has great high-level takedown defense. He has good power in the boxing. He trains with CKB, so I feel like the cardio is definitely going to hold up. His chin is very good. He's only really getting finished with body shots by Moreno. He was winning that Moreno fight as well. So I feel like the power threat and the takedown defense and the skill set of Kai Kara-France means Pentosia's not going to be able to just fucking bum rush him like he did against Asakura in his last fight. But I think Pentosia has made big enough improvements in the striking, in the wrestling, where he used to just kind of maraud at people. Like, even when he fought Kai Kara-France the first time, he's just kind of marauding at him, just spamming fucking takedowns, not really striking that much. But now we see him able to use the takedown threat to actually outstrike people. Like, he dropped Brandon Moreno in their last fight. He pieced up Kai Asakura before he took him down and submitted him. I think Kai Kara-France is going to get frozen because of the takedown defense. I think he's going to be focused so heavily on the takedown defense and the BJJ defense that every time Pentosia shoots in the open, he's going to stuff the fuck out. People are going to be, wow, the takedown defense, right? Even if Pentosia gets him against the fence, which I think when he gets Kai against the fence, he will be able to take him down pretty easily. I think even if he gets on Kai's back, Kai's going to defend, right? We saw against Albazi, he had really good late-stage defense against the rear naked choke. So I'm going to say Kai Kara-France defends really well in the grappling, but I think that in between those moments where he's like, okay, I got to stuff the next takedown, I think Pentosia's going to be able to land big shots. I think he's going to be able to land the right hand. I think he's going to land a lot of big body kicks, which we saw hurt Kai Kara-France. That could be a potential fight-ending moment, like a big body kick rocks Kai Kara-France and then Pentosia jumps on the neck. I think he's going to use leg kicks, right? We saw against Urseg, Moreno, Asakura, even against Kai when they fought on Tough. I know that was a long time ago, but still. The takedown threat means Pentosia can land big shots on you and really maraud you back into the fence. And I think that even though he doesn't rely on it that much, he still has a crazy fucking chin as well. Like, I don't see Kai Kara-France sleeping this guy, bro. I know that I got slept by Kai Kara-France, but I don't think he's doing that to Pentosia. I think even when Pentosia gets caught with the big right hand or the fucking right hand dip overhand that Kai Kara-France always throws, I don't think he's going to finish Pentosia. I think even if he rocks him or drops him, I don't think he's going to be able to finish Pentosia because he has a fucking iron chin. He has 5-round cardio. Even if he looks tired, he can still maraud you. And I feel like this fight is going to look like Kai Kara-France landing good shots in the boxing, doing a really good job to defend the takedowns, maybe getting controlled a little bit, but not getting submitted. But for the most part, I think Pentosia's just going to be throwing more, doing more, putting Kai on the back foot, making him defend takedowns, and then landing good shots out in the open, pushing him back to the fence, landing big body kicks, taking him down against the fence, getting on his back. But I think that he won't submit Kai Kara-France unless he rocks him. If Kai Kara-France gets rocked by a body shot or gets rocked with a big right hand and then drops down, I think Pentosia will jump on a submission and finish him. But I'm going to give Kai Kara-France his credit. I'm going to say he survives to a decision. I'm going to say Pentosia wins 48, 47, 49, 46 decision. I think it'll be a decently entertaining fight, but Pentosia's just going to be doing more, land some good shots on the feet, get control time where he needs it, clutch up with the grappling, put him up against the fence, get takedowns. I'm going to say Pentosia by decision is my pick for this fight. All right, man. Main event. I already made my prediction for this, dude. I can't pick Charles Olivera based on the power of friendship, bro. And the more I see Ilia hitting pads, the more I'm like, oh my God, bro. Excuse me. I've learned my lesson, bro. I've picked against Ilia Topuria one time, and I watched Max Holloway get fucking executed on live TV. So I'm not going to do it again. I'm picking Ilia Topuria by knockout. I'm going to say Ilia Topuria late round 2 knockout, or maybe early round 3 at the latest. I'm going to say that Charles Oliveira, yes, he will do good in this fight. If somebody's picking Topuria by like round 1 domination, Charles Oliveira does nothing, I actually think Charles Oliveira is a tough matchup for Ilia Topuria. But even in his toughest matchups, like Max Holloway and Volkanovski, in my opinion, those are 2 really bad matchups for Ilia. Like, taking away any context of like the weight cut from 55 or whatever you want to say, short notice. Regardless of those things, those are still hard fights for Ilia Topuria. Those are not easy fights for him. And he finished both of them. Right? So I feel like the classic Ilia script is going to happen in this fight, where he loses the first round, or he comes out looking really damaged, because I think Charles Oliveira is going to have a big physicality advantage. Coming up from 145 to 155, there is a difference. And I think that Charles Oliveira is going to be able to push Ilia back a little bit, tie him up in the clinch, land some nice knees to the body, land some uppercuts, holding the back of Ilia's head, landing some uppercuts. I think he's going to, use oblique kicks really well. I think he's going to avoid the calf kicks of Ilia Topuria that usually slow people down. Like, I know some people were confused on my last video. Do you guys watch fucking tape, dude? Ilia Topuria against Max and Volk, like, hurt them both with calf kicks. And I think against Charles Oliveira, that's not going to be there, because Charles is so good at checking kicks, and he always lifts the legs up, ties you up, lands a big uppercut, lands a big knee to the body. And I think that he is going to be able to do those moves against Ilia Topuria in the first round, and kind of, tag him up with the uppercut, land an elbow in the break, get a hold of him, hold him against the fence. I think at some point he will try and jump a guillotine from the clinch, or, try and pull guard. But I think Ilia Topuria in the first round will hurt him with some body work. He'll try and throw some uppercuts in the clinch to kind of hurt him. And I think as the fight goes on, as we go to round 2 and round 3, Ilia Topuria is going to make reads on the defense of Oliveira with either just straight right hands down the middle, or if Charles Oliveira stays really committed to the high guard, I think Ilia is going to land some big body shots. And I think as the fight goes on, if Charles has to actually wrestle, I think Ilia is going to be able to defend the takedowns, avoid, the guard pull submission attempts. I think he's going to land some big ground and pound, and then kind of make Oliveira get back up. And I think at some point he's going to defend a takedown really hard. He's going to make Oliveira get back up. Like, come on, get back up, get back up. And I think he's going to crack him with a big right hand, put him up against the fence, and land a big left hook and knock him out. So I'm going to say Ilia Topuria wins by late round 2 or round 3 knockout, up against the fence, right hand into that left hook, drops him badly. I could see oh, bro, I hate saying these words, man. I hate saying these words. I'm going to say it on 3. Ready, guys? 1, 2, 3. I think Oliveira's going to go out cold, bro. I would please, you have my complete permission to put me in the fucking Tame Impala edits if Charles wins, okay? You have my permission to put me in as one of the haters in a Charles edit if he wins, but I think Ilia Topuria is gonna slime him out and win by knockout. These are my picks for UFC 317. I'm very excited for this card. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Who are you picking? What's your predictions? I want to hear it down below. If you guys enjoying the videos, drop a like. Subscribe to the channel. Go follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Bedtime MMA. I will be doing a video about UFC Noche and UFC Paris tomorrow, so I'm sorry that it's kind of delayed, but it's not that big of a deal. Like, it's Gene Silva Lopez. I feel like we all know what's going to happen in that fight, but I'm going to drop my video about that and Imavov versus Baralho tomorrow. I want to really think about my predictions for that, so stay tuned for that video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.